some things that many people have gone through, including myself, in our efforts to lose weight and reach our goals. Um, I'm very dizzy today, very lightheaded, a little bit off kilter. I've been working on doing some like massage techniques and natural things to try to treat this. Ginger tea is another thing that's suggested for vertigo. So far, it's at least taken a little bit of the edge off, but it's really hard to get my breath in between talking. So bear with me if I'm a little bit slow this morning. I told God a long time ago that if He allowed me to stay on this channel after everything that I've been through, I would make sure that I would live the rest of my life doing things to help others because that's His heart and it's my heart. So hopefully, you'll find at least something I say today helpful. Feel free to comment in the comments if you have any suggestions for helping with vertigo or anything that I talk about today. So, I listed these in the form of C's, like as in the letter C, maybe that way, I'm not sure. Um, so, the first thing that I see with people that I'm trying to help on their goals, and including me when I first started, especially back in 2016 is actually when no, I'm sorry, before that even. 2012 was when I began this journey. But I did not always eat whole food plant based. Most of you that know me know that about me. I was married to a Mexican man who loved his tortillas and bread and all things very high carb, high oil, high fat. And sometimes when you marry somebody that likes things a certain way, you find yourself joining in so that you can feel one with the person or at least not stick out like a sore thumb. So I learned how to make all things tortilla and Mexican when I was married to him. I made really good tortillas. A lot of people that ate my tortillas tell me to this day, we really miss those tortillas you used to make. I miss them too, but I don't miss the oil, the fat, the starchy flour that they were made with. So I've been learning how to make lentil wraps and I'm getting pretty good at it, but I'm trying to learn how to make them thinner. Right now they're thick like pancakes. And I think there's a way to make them a little bit thinner. So I'm still molding myself to learn that feat of accomplishment. Anyway, without further ado, let's get right into this. So, the first thing I notice about people that are on a weight loss or a health journey is they're very self critical. They feel like they never measure up, they're not doing enough, they're not eating low enough calories, or they're not eating the right things, they're not counting macros, whatever. It's always this self finger pointing that they're just not good enough, they're not measuring up. Unfortunately, when you don't believe in yourself, this is my experience. It may not be yours, it may not be everybody's, but when you reach that point where you just really don't like yourself, you're not comfortable in your own skin the way you are, you're very self critical, you put yourself down, even the little bit of progress that you make, you can't seem to register that as rewarding. You see that as, yeah, but I made it this far, but I should be this many pounds by now or whatever. That's one thing I don't do to myself because I my accountability partners know that I give myself a 6 pound leeway when I go to lose weight because I'm a brat and I know that I will not hit any one goal I give myself right on. I won't. I'm too much of a rebel. So I need to feel in control. That's what it is. I need to feel in control. And the way I do that is by not totally putting the screws to myself, as they say, and putting such pressure on myself that I want to jump out of the box I'm putting myself in. So I say, for instance, if I want to get to a weight, we'll say I want to, if I wasn't at it already or below it, when I wanted to get to 180, I told myself, okay, I counted on the calendar and I dropped like 1 pound each week in the month. So say we're starting in the beginning of, I'll just make up a month, June, okay? We're starting in the beginning of the month and I might weigh like 182, and I'm trying to get down to 180. Okay, that's not unreasonable. You can lose 1 to 2 pounds a week technically and be healthy. I usually lose about a pound a week, sometimes up to 4 pounds a week I've lost, and maybe even a little more. But like Ryan Adams, who's one of the gurus I listen to, says, you can't be so presumptuous and kind of vain, I guess he said, to demand that your body do things your way and to assume that you know how much your body should be losing, should be taking off. Your body is on a clock of its own and it knows what it's capable of doing and how it's going to do it. And you can't be angry with yourself if you don't hit a target like right smack on. So, if I was at 182 in the beginning of June, I would go, okay, I got 4 weeks in June. So 81, 80, 79, 78. So by the end of June, I would want to weigh 178. Okay. Well, or I'm sorry, wait. Yeah, around 178. Okay. So I'm not super good with numbers. So bear with me on this. So what I would do is I would say, okay, I can weigh any of those weights, plus I'll add a couple pounds to give myself a little leeway. I know that sounds counterintuitive, counterproductive, whatever. It actually works for me. I don't know why, it's crazy, but it does. So we're going from 182, 81, 80, 79, 78. So I'm going to say I'm going to weigh either, and I'll put this on a chart. I'm either going to weigh what I weigh now, which is 182, or I'll weigh 183, 184, or I will weigh 181, 180, 179, 178. And I'll write every single one of those weights on my chart. I will weigh one of these weights by the end of the month. Now, because I'm a brat, I'm kind of like a I'll show you type of person with myself. So what I'll say is, well, no, you're not going to weigh 182 by the end of those 4 weeks. You're crazy. You know you're not going to want to stay at the same weight you are. So you're going to weigh one of those other weights. And this is all subconscious in my brain, and it has worked every time I've done it. So my theory is if it isn't broke, don't fix it, right? So I will go through and I will eat my healthy way because I have something to prove to myself. What I have to prove is I'm not going to weigh those two weights over where I'm at. I'm going to weigh one of those ones below. And every single time without fail, that is exactly what has happened. I'm not saying this will work for everybody, but this is what I've discovered works for me. So I will definitely weigh either 181, 180, 179, 178 for sure. Guaranteed I will weigh one of those weights by the end of the month. So, what did that tell me? That told me that I lost a couple pounds during the month. And I'm fine with a couple pounds a month. Some people like to lose a couple pounds a week. Some people like losing a couple pounds every couple weeks. I'm fine with a couple pounds a month to 4 or 5 pounds a month, whatever. But as long as I weigh one of those lower weights and not the ones above where I'm at or even where I'm at, I'm super stoked. And then y'all know me, I celebrate not with food either. I will buy myself something. I will take an extra walk. I will take up a new exercise program, whatever. I'll go pick some flowers on the side of the road to pat myself on the back. Because you are your own cheering section, y'all. You don't need to have everybody else cheer you on. It does help to have a support group. I will say that, but not everybody is in your body and experiencing the joy or defeat that you're feeling. You only know that. So when you get something happening in the right direction, you should celebrate without food, without anything that's going to jeopardize your progress, obviously. There's many different ways to celebrate. Okay, so we're going to knock off the whole criticism. I'm a failure. I'll never make it. You have to ask yourself, you're a failure based on what or who? Who are you comparing yourself to and what are you comparing yourself to? What standards are you holding up for yourself that are going to be so impossible to meet that you're just going to know you're going to have another beat up session by the time your goal day comes along because you're not going to make it to that. Well, at least I won't. And I'm talking from my own experience, not that that's everybody's. Also, you're a failure based on timing. Is it a timing thing? Is it I have to lose this much by this date? That's why I have kind of this tentative thing. Yes, by this date, I will weigh one of these weights. But it's not by this date I will weigh 178 pounds. No, I can't do it. I've tried zillions of times. Throughout my whole weight loss progress time, I have tried that, and I cannot pinpoint myself to one thing. Just like I can't pinpoint myself to one snack if I have a snack. I may once in a while have a cookie, like a healthy cookie, vegan cookie, whatever. But I know if I'm going to have a cookie, I allow myself to because, again, I'm rebellious. I don't want just one. I'm going to have more than one because that's just how I am. I should make my own diet plan called the Rebels Diet or something. For those that just can't give up their sweets, and if they do give them up, even if they eat healthier sweets, they still overindulge. I think I could be helpful to some people, unless they have an addiction. That's a whole different thing. And then you are a failure based on what? Demand? Are you demanding of yourself? Are you putting yourself under so much pressure that you're just a nothing if you don't make a goal? That doesn't help anybody. If you keep beating yourself up every time you make a mistake or you make a choice that isn't helpful, and we'll talk about that in a little while about choices, you are going to never make it to where you want to go. You've got to have positivity on the journey. You have to. I'm a very positive person. I may not smile and, ooh, I'm all giddy. That's not my personality. But inside, I feel very positive. I feel very sure of myself that if I want to do something, I can do something. And I know that I'm going to flub up along the way. But see, I don't flub up like, oops, I had an accident. I had an oopsie. I made a dumb mistake. No, I choose to make mistakes. I choose. If I see a donut, this doesn't happen anymore because I don't eat donuts. But when I was eating donuts or cakes or cheesy things or whatever, it wasn't a oops, I had one or oh, I cheated. No, it was a choice. It wasn't a cheat. Again, we'll talk about that later. I don't cheat. I make choices. I do things extremely 100 plus conscious. It's not a mistake. It's a choice. It's called, I know this is not on the plan, but I'm going to eat it anyway because that's just the person I am. I'm just being for real with you guys. You know I'm genuine. I don't lie. I don't pull punches. I don't make up stuff. I'm not deceptive or sketchy with you. I tell you like it is. I lost a lot of weight. I did. I weighed 230 pounds. I'm at 179 right now. That's a lot. It took years. It took many, many tries. It took a lot of diets. And no, I'm not where I want to be by any stretch. There's a lot more I got to go, but I have come a long way. And I'm celebrating that today that, hey, so you're not where you want to be, but look how much you lost. Do you know how many people that for years and years, 20 plus years, are trying to lose weight and can't do it and can't keep it off once they do lose it? I've lost it and I've kept it off. So clearly something I have been doing has been working. So I'm celebrating that. I'm celebrating the good things. I'm not worrying about what I don't have yet. I'm working towards what I don't have yet. And as long as I'm alive, I'll be working towards what I don't have yet. And like Ryan Adams said, you know, you're putting yourself in this little span of time saying, I have to weigh this at this time. I have to be right here now or at such and such a day. Yet you have your whole life ahead of you. You're going to have a whole life of thinness once you reach that goal. So who cares if it takes you a year or several months or whatever it takes you? Just work towards it. Don't worry about the time frame so much, you know? Just have a general idea of where you want to be, like I just told you. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is exactly what I just said. It's not about cheating. I hate that terminology. Oh, I cheated. I mean, it was cute when, like, my foster mom and I, when we would go on diets, we would say, oh, we cheated on that day. She still says that to this day. I love her, but I don't like that terminology because cheating sounds like you're betraying yourself. When you cheat on somebody, you're betraying them. You're breaking a trust. So when you cheat, you're breaking a trust with yourself. You're saying, I just broke trust with myself. I no longer can trust myself, which means I can't do this. I can't be around certain things because I don't trust myself because I might cheat on myself. No, what you'll do is you'll make a choice. You go to that family dinner and there's cake and there's cookies and there's ice cream and oh, come on, just have one. It's homemade. I made it just for you. I know it's your favorite. You're not going to cheat. You're going to make a choice. You're going to say, oh, yeah, it does look good. It smells really wonderful. And I really do like the taste of that pudding inside there. Oh my gosh. That's so delicious. I remember last time I ate it, and your mind will start wandering back to how it tastes and how it smells and how good it feels to eat it. But you're going to make a choice to eat that. You didn't cheat, you made a choice. Or you're going to make a choice, yeah, you know what? I love it. It's delicious. I remember last time I had it, I loved it, but I'm in a whole new direction right now. I'm in a brand new lifestyle. I really like the progress I'm making. I so appreciate you doing that. Um, I just can't, and I don't, and I won't. But I appreciate you doing that so much for me. Um, maybe we could talk about your recipe and tweaking it a little bit so that I could eat it. But there's things in there that I just can't. Now, for my family, I'll tell them like it is. There's tons of sugar in that. That leads to problems in my health. I bet there's a lot of fat in that because you got a crust on it. I can't do crust because of the heavy amount of fat and gluten and things like that. And it plugs me up. It makes it hard to breathe. It makes my heart palpitate. In fact, Will I am stopped eating stuff with crust and flour and stuff because it caused him heart palpitations and trouble breathing, I think is what he said. And he's pretty famous, so if he can do it, I'm sure I can tell people about that. So yeah, if at that point they're still insistent, I'll say, look, I really don't want to break your heart. I don't, but I can't, and I just won't. I don't eat like that anymore. I'm sorry. And if I make an enemy, again, y'all know me. I've made many enemies along the way for standing my ground. Then I guess you weren't a friend to begin with. I mean, I don't know. If you can't respect my, boundaries for my health, then were you really a friend or a relative that I can trust? Now I have relatives that don't eat like me. I do, and they're very respectful of the fact that I don't want to eat that way. Um, I had some relatives in my past in the family who are no longer part of the family who would shame me and just argue with me and debate me. Well, everybody's going to die of something someday. And do you know how much fat is in blah, blah, blah? And you ate that. And, just it was an endless diatribe of back and forth squabble till the point where I was so upset I would get up and leave the table and go downstairs away from the person. That doesn't happen in the company that I keep now. When we have family get togethers, everybody pretty much knows that everyone is on a different path in their lifestyle. And we just, oh, you don't eat that? Okay, cool. How about some of this? Do you eat this? In fact, that's more likely the question nowadays is, do you eat this? So, yeah, that part has been solved. So, no, you're not cheating, you're choosing. You're choosing, not cheating. Wipe out the cheat word out of your vocabulary. Okay, the next thing is charting. Okay, so Ryan Adams gives a really great idea, which I'm going to start doing. Weigh yourself the same time every day, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, because this makes total sense to me. Because what days are you more likely to make choices that go contrary to your goals and your plan? Probably the weekend. Everybody knows Friday is party time. And even if you don't drink, which I don't, you're going to want to do something party wise. It's a mindset I think we have in America that, oh, it's the weekend, just like summer break, summer vacation for kids. There's a thought that, oh, we're off for the summer. We can go do whatever we want. We're free. Okay. Weekends are the same thing for most people I talk to. You've worked all week. You've dealt with people's baloney. You're stressed out. Oh, the weekend is here. Let's just relax. Unless you work on the weekends. Then that doesn't apply to you probably so much. But what we're going to do is we're going to weigh ourselves, or I'm going to, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Right after you use the bathroom, before you put anything in your mouth, including water. You're going to get on that scale at exactly the same time or as close to that time as you can, and you're going to weigh yourself and you're going to chart that. That's going to give you, according to Ryan Adams, the most accurate amount of weight that you're at so that okay, if I'm still at this weight for a few days or around this weight, then I know based on what it was last weekend how I did for the week. Seems pretty logical to me. I've tried it different ways. I've weighed myself every day, which is a lesson in futility for me. But a lot of people find a lot of benefit in that. I just don't. But I think weighing 3 days in a row would be a great idea. And I have my little chart that goes with it. Thank you for the thumb up, by the way. I just think it's great. It's a great idea. So I think I'll try that. Okay, so yeah, make sure you're consistent, whatever you decide to do, and make sure you do chart it. Put a graph on the, refrigerator or something, or in your journal. I do a lot of things in my journal, so I know that I journal every day. I'm going to see that. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to examine it. I'm very analytical, so I'm going to sit and compare. I'm going to make notes. I did this like the other day. I took my, this is my journal. I took the back of my journal and I'm like, okay, where did I start out with? I started way up here. That was my weight. And then as I came all the way down to present, this is where I'm at now. So I started at 214 pounds in 2016 and I am at 179.9. Well, I did not weigh myself today, so I don't know what I am today. But as of yesterday, I was 179.9. So I know that much. All right. So you be consistent, chart it out so you can see it somewhere, and just be honest with yourself. You don't have to show it to anybody. Just be honest with yourself and say, hey, I weighed this last week. This is what I weigh this week, or do it by month, however you want to do it. And just work on gradually going down. It's going to be gradual. It's not going to be a straight zoom. Not for most people. It's going to be up, down, up, down. Not because you're eating wrong necessarily, but because your body does what your body wants to do. If it thinks you're losing too fast, it'll try to hold on to stuff. Like, oh, we can't have her starving, so let's hang on to this little bit of fat around the middle. You can't control that. There's only so much you can do to control. Okay, the last part is calorie density. Something I just recently learned this year. A calorie is not a calorie, people, like I thought it was. Calories per pound in foods are very, very different. I'm not going to go into all the details because I don't have them handy, but you can look up calorie density. You want to eat stuff with fiber because fiber will help you digest it. It will help you use the bathroom, which is how you lose the weight. Not to be graphic, if you're eating breakfast, I apologize, but that is literally how you lose weight. One of the ways. Sweat is another one, and there's a couple other ways through your body fluids you lose weight. You want to eat for satisfaction, not fullness. I use the word fullness with my husband because I think he understands that better than satisfaction, because I'm not sure he's rarely ever satisfied unless he eats and eats and eats. I want to ask him, are you full? Meaning, are you comfortable now? Do you feel like you got to ravenously dig through the cupboards or refrigerator? If you do, then I'm going to make you some more starch like potato or rice or something like that. Or I'm going to give you a nice big salad, something filling. So yeah, you want to eat fiber and you want to feel satisfied, not full, and definitely not over full. If you cause yourself pain when you eat, here's the problem with that. Anything our mind associates with something is going to control what happens next. So say you were the type of person, and I was for years, went to a buffet and just ate and ate. And then when you thought, oh, I'm good, I can't have any more. And then the dessert was on your mind. And you're like, oh, I'm just going to go up for a little bit of coffee cake. And then I'll come back and sit down. And before you knew it, you were walking out to the parking lot holding your stomach going, oh my God, I should not have eaten that much. Every time you do that, you're building a neurotransmitter in your brain that's starting to get a really wrong idea about food. It becomes a pattern. Every time I go out, I eat too much. Every time I go out, I eat too much. I always eat the dessert. I always get more. You're telling yourself this subconsciously. So it becomes like a cycle, and you're going to find yourself continually doing it. So what I started doing was exactly the opposite. I would start listening to my body. It's called mindful eating. If I'm sitting there and I have just eaten what I feel was my dinner, full course, everything that's put together as a meal, you got your potato, you got your veggies, maybe a little bit of fruit, bit of condiments that are healthy. And I'm like, okay, I ate my meal. Am I really hungry? I'm feeling like I should eat more. Am I hungry, or am I just thinking I need to eat more because that's what I've always done? Do I feel like a little twinge in my stomach? Like, yeah, you're not quite done yet. Then I'll get up and I'll eat more vegetables. You want to start by eating your vegetables and your salad. That has not changed with me, by the way. I always eat the veggies and the salad first, or the soup before anything. Even if it's breakfast, I may have a bowl of soup before breakfast. I didn't today, but I'm going to have some soup in a little while. Sometimes I switch it up. But if you're new to this, you want to do your vegetables first. You want to listen to your body and say, hey, do I really want the starch next? Do I need the starch? Or was the vegetable enough? Do I want more vegetables? Always go with vegetables first. And then if you are still hungry, eat your starch. And if you get hungry later, say you just were like, I'm just going to have a bowl of vegetables for breakfast, and you're hungry like a couple hours later, which is common because vegetables aren't that filling, then go and get your starch. Then have a baked potato or a bowl of rice, or I don't know, whatever your starch is, a sweet potato or some type of a pasta that's healthy, whole grain pasta, or maybe better yet, like a garbanzo bean pasta, chickpea pasta, lentil pasta is one of my favorites. Or have a bowl full of lentils. If you're still not full, have more vegetables and just kind of follow that pattern. Vegetable, starch, vegetables, then starch, then vegetable, and just keep going because eventually you're going to learn what your fullness point is, what your satisfaction point is, not fullness, your satisfaction point. Once you're satisfied, see if you can get up and go do something other than eat. Put everything away. After you're done with your meal, put stuff away. Don't leave it out on the counter. That's another big mistake I made. I would make meals, and my mom, I think, taught me this because we were a big Italian family, and I was probably one of the biggest eventually. Um, we would leave, and my grandma too, they would leave the big bowl of pasta out there, or they'd bring it to the table, which is even worse. If it's in your house, it's in your mouth. If it's in front of you, it's going to be in you. That's just how it is. Good morning, sweet wheat. So when you see that big bowl of lasagna or that big bowl of stuffed shells in front of you and you've already eaten a plate, you're somehow going to find room to have a few more extra shells. And oh man, those tasted so good. And I love that taste. I got to repeat it. Your brain, again, will start playing over those neurotransmitters of, this is comforting. We like this. This tastes yummy. Good. You don't need to do that. Don't tempt yourself. Eat your meal, put it on your plate, bring it over to another room, put the stuff in the refrigerator. And then if you want it again, bring it back out. But do not leave it on your table. Do not leave it on your countertop. Put the stuff away. That has helped me more than anything has, honestly, as far as that temptation to keep on going. And then when you're done, you're done. Just get up, close up shop. Kitchen is closed for a while, for a few hours till it's time to eat again. Go do something, some busy work. Go exercise, go take a walk, whatever. I don't know, just anything but eat. You have to learn to eat to live and not live to eat. That's what I've learned. You don't see me here eating anything while I'm talking. I don't do mukbangs anymore because I might jokingly do one if I'm like putting groceries away and I see something I want to munch on or something. But no, it's not a common thing for me. I learned really quickly that the people doing the mukbangs were usually the people that had either eating disorders, obesity, or just like to show off healthy, not healthy, but unhealthy food that tasted good. I don't know very many whole food plant-based mukbangers. I really don't. I haven't seen any. If you guys know of any, link me up because I haven't seen any. Usually it's the people that are fat positive that want to do that kind of thing. I'm not positive about fat. I don't like fat. Fat is dangerous unless it's like a little bit that you need to live on your body. Fat causes heart problems. Fat causes lung disease. Fat makes it hard to breathe. Fat is not my friend. So I don't want to be fat. I do not want to have excess rolls and weight around my sides like I have now. So yeah, that is all I wanted to share. I just thought that might be helpful for somebody. That's helped me on my journey. I'm still on the journey. Right now, my biggest thing I'm dealing with is trying to figure out how to stop feeling dizzy constantly. I'm too dizzy to take my walk right now because I walk sideways. I can't walk a straight line easily. One thing that does help in case you do have vertigo is jumping on the rebounder. I think it's because it jostles your brain a little bit and kind of gives you a distorted view of whatever's around you. And it's only temporary. Once I get off the rebounder, the dizziness comes back. I've tried the the Brandt maneuver. I think it's called the Brandt maneuver, the Epley maneuver. I'm trying to do some massage, acupuncture or pressure. I'm trying everything, y'all. So if you guys are familiar with vertigo and you know any solution for it, please let me know. That's a big reason I'm not staring at the phone a lot, because when I stare at text or I stare at the phone, it makes my eyes go like this and it makes me really lightheaded and dizzy. So I'm trying not to do that a lot. I'm just trying to kind of drift my eyes around gradually and read my notes as best as I can. Vertigo is awful. I hate it. I'm not sure what caused it, although I do have a lot of ear problems, so I'm thinking in my case it must be an ear thing. I was diagnosed with something called BPPV a couple weeks ago or last week, whenever it was. It's benign paroxysmal positional vertigo. What that means is it's not malignant, so it's not like cancer or anything that's going to kill you necessarily. Um, Paroxysmal means it comes on suddenly. Positional means it happens when you change position. And vertigo is the dizziness. So it's basically, it came on suddenly. It comes on suddenly when it does come on, and it doesn't happen all the time, but when it does, it whips my booty. My biggest problem is like turning to the left. It seems to be on the left side. So I'm thinking I may have an ear infection or something going on there. I'm not really sure. I'm on antibiotics, but it doesn't seem to help with it. Staring at something for very long, things start getting a little bit kind of woozy. Not really blurry, but just shaky. But yeah, it was diagnosed. It is a diagnosis. It's official. And unfortunately, my lot in life for the moment until I can figure out how to treat it, how to deal with it. And hopefully that comes soon. Anyway, I have a job interview tomorrow for something in my field, and I'm happy about that. I didn't hear back from the last job I applied to. I'm going to give them a call today to see what's up with that. Your girl should be working soon, hopefully. Yeah. Anyway, does anybody have any questions, comments, things you want to say? Howdy doody, whatever. Tell me what's up with you. I'll wait a couple seconds. I won't leave right away. Just wondering if anybody wants to chat about anything. I will show you one thing here if I can. Let me see. I should be able to. Okay, this is one of the charts I made. You can kind of look it over. So when I started, which was December 14th, 2022, my weight was 85.9 kilograms, which was 189, I believe. And recently it has gone down to 179, so 10 pounds. And then the BMI, 37.2 down to 36.1. Fat was still straight across 45, haven't gotten rid of that. Body fat weight, 38.7 to 37.5. Skeletal muscle, 28.5, 28.8. Overall muscle, 50.3 to 50.2. So not much of a change. Muscle weight, 43.2 to 41.9. That's because there's less of me to have muscle. We're going to look at visceral fat, 14.5 to 14. 5 ounces of visceral fat gone. Bone mass is important at my age, 4.0 right across the board. Obesity, 74.6 down to 69.5. My body age has stayed at 66 straight across the board. And my lean body mass went from 47.25 to 45.87, which that's a little bit concerning, but I'm not going to make a big stink out of that. There's some tweaking I'm doing on my progress and such. So yeah, just wanted to share a little bit of that with you. So there is a drop where the drop needs to be in the weight and the visceral fat, which is the fat around your organs. Tinking. I had bad sugar addiction for the last 2 years, just getting off it now, mainly chocolate. Tinking, I am not one to criticize you about your chocolate problem. I have been eating chocolate chips thinking they were healthy and whole food plant based. I don't know why, but they clearly have milk and sugar in them and fat. So, I'm dropping those as of today, and yeah, there shan't be any more of that nonsense going on. I will be probably using cocoa powder in recipes instead of chocolate chips, unless lilies work for me. But I'm very leery of the erythritol that's in a lot of things now. They're linking that to problems in the health, so I'm going to try to steer clear of those as well. Better to just avoid all that stuff altogether. It's just hard. I like to have dates with some cocoa powder and peanut butter, kind of to mimic a Snickers bar. But they could be those little dates with the cocoa powder and the peanut butter that are holding up some weight loss. So I may have to cut back on that. We'll see. Anywho, the chocolate chips go as of tomorrow will be the first day. No more chocolate chips. No more buying them. No more getting them at food pantries. Not going to come in the house by me. That's for sure. Anyway, I guess I will go. It's not a very chatty group today. That's okay. People are probably working. It is a work day. So I'm going to go and check on that job and see if they're going to ask me back for training or what's going on, because I have that other interview and I'm not sure what to do at this point, which job to take if they both want to hire me. It'll be based on how much money I can make, because I got bills to pay, guys. I have friends to pay back that have helped me out in times of need, and I plan on doing that no matter what. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate you. Thank you for following me on my journey over the years. Oh, it's 1:30 a.m. in Australia. Why? What are you doing up at 1:30 in the morning? Goodness gracious, get some sleep. It's definitely not that here. It is 10:58 here. I am going to sign off for now. Appreciate every one of you. Thank you for being faithful listeners, followers, subscribers, viewers, etc. Aw, Tinking, you're sweet. I don't want you to be sleep deprived because I'm on, though, so I definitely need to go. You promised me you get some sleep. You need at least 7 or 8 hours of sleep to have optimal function. That's important, too, when we're trying to lose weight and reach our goals. We don't want to be sleep deprived, because then we get kooky and we can't stay focused. So, yeah. I appreciate y'all, though. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here. I don't really want to go, but I got to do some stuff. I got to try to get my head screwed on straight, literally, here. And get some things done. And, yeah. Okay. Be blessed, everybody. I'll see you soon. Shalom. Good night, Tinking.